So from the Kiwis to our
He's come down, his last start second behind Port Nepean was so good. Ma and Eustace, you know how clever they are. I mean, they've only got the one runner in this race today. This is the one they've earmarked. What a moment for Alana Kelly. Katie, you've sort of been in this position for Lloyd and Nick. The pressure of a big race and trying to qualify a horse. This horse has been so impressive. I think what she's going to do, Katie, today is she's going to take off at the 800. I think she's going to make it a stayers test, but big pressure on her, and Splendiferous was so impressive, wasn't she, in Adelaide?
Yeah, she was. She'll go forward, Splendiferous, and she'll give them something to catch. And today there's just been no tempo, so she might just steal it.
Well, Grace, she's a drifting favourite. Is she still favourite, Splendiferous?
She sure is, Richo. There is plenty happening in the market leading up to our feature today. The listed Andrew Ramsden Stakes. There's so much on the line for these horses, that golden ticket into the Melbourne Cup. Let's look at the favourite, Splendiferous. $3.70 out to $4.20. She's holding that price despite a couple of horses being really well backed to beat her. The first one is Luncey's, number 2, $6 into $5, and might even trim up again. And warning, what about this, $10 into $5? He is clearly the class horse of this field. The other one that's worth mentioning is Through Irish Eyes, backed into $6, steady now at that price. Point Nepean's a big drifter, $3.80 out to $6. So there is a lot of different market moves and a lot of different opinions here. And just before we get to the opinions of everybody else, don't forget, with Sportsbet, you can bet with mates. The instructions are on the screen there.
Dino, you're with Through Irish Eyes. Drifting in the market, and ditto for Point Nepean.
Yeah, and they come through the same form line, Richo, so that's a little bit of a concern. Obviously, the bigger punters don't like that form line. I'm thinking they're the up-and-comers in the race, and Through Irish Eyes won a St Ledger at this track and distance last year off a very similar preparation. He ran 5th in this race last year, but he wasn't ready for it as a 3-year-old. I think the timing's right this year, and I'm going to stick with him. I think he'll get a great run, and for Jai McNeil, a chance to run this horse into the Melbourne Cup.
My roughie in the race, Bruce, is for Gai Wardhouse and Adrian Bott, with Linda Meach, the perfect front-running jockey on Zoom On.
I can see why, Richo. He was 4th in the Derby in Sydney, albeit behind those 3 that had the epic battle up the straight. His run in the St Ledger was okay. You know he's going to go forward. No, he'll run well, Jason. It's just whether he's ready for this race against the older horses.
That's the big query. Grace, who do you like?
I really like Luncey's and what he's been doing on wet tracks in Sydney, and he's now into $4.80, so he's been really well backed late.
Okay, a thought, Katie?
I'm with Point Nepean, and I'm hoping Alana Kelly can get this horse home for Team Macedon, because this will be huge for her and her career. It might just kickstart her massively, especially with these European stayers and Team Macedon.
So the Andrew Ramsden Stakes was known as the Duke of Norfolk. This is the 59th running of it. Realm of Flowers last year, then got injured, didn't go to the Cup. Ocean X and Steel Prince went to the Cup and ran top 10. So that's basically what we're looking at here. Can you win your way into the Cup and then be competitive on the first Tuesday in November? Let's go to Matt Hill.
Ready to run. And they're racing in the Ramsden. And towards the inside, Sound of Cannons was away moderately. Through Irish Eyes, midfield away. Splendiferous, the best to leap from Zoom On. Out wide on the course, Luncey's is looking for a forward position. Turn It Up Tommy's using plenty of the track. It's up there in the van as well. They were followed by Warning 5th from English King. Through Irish Eyes. Point Nepean's deep and taking its time early. Regina next outside of Sound of Cannons. Well back, Harmissi and Horrifying last. Turn It Up Tommy for Patrick Maloney, who's already bowled punters over over earlier on in the afternoon. Leads here on the bolter by 4 lengths out of the straight. Luncy second, Splendiferous found the rails third, and then came Zoom On, and Our Deeper is Warning progressing around them 3 wide. Sound of Cannon sixth the fence, a length through Irish Eyes, and then English King between horses. Point Nepean's wide and 2/3 down the field at this stage from Harmissy and Regina, and 2 lengths to Horrifying last as they reach the riverside. With approximately 1,800 metres to run, it's Turn It Up Tommy As It Likes by 2.5 lengths. Luncy's second and Splendiferous is third. A couple of lengths to Warning, one off the fence outside of Sound of Cannons. Point Nepean's posted 3 wide, but not panicking and steadily working forward from Zoom On. A length through Irish Eyes with cover outside of Harmissian. Towards the back. On Point Nepean the outside, Kelly's hard at work. They're 2.5 lengths. Luncy's through Irish Eyes. Horrifying runs on, then Warning, Harmissian, and that's the race. Splendiferous at the 350 and Point Nepean toe to toe, followed by Luncy's down the outside. Horrifying through Irish Eyes with 3 to pick up. Point Nepean, 250 metres to go, takes the lead from Luncy's up on the inside. Through Irish Eyes still stays on with Horrifying. Point Nepean getting weary, 100 to go. Luncy's up on the inside, coming at Point Nepean, but Point Nepean finds Point Nepean clear, and Point Nepean is going to be here on Cup Day. Point Nepean has won it from Luncy's through Irish Eyes and Warning. Then Horrifying, Splendiferous, a gap in the field, Harmissy and Zoom On. A longer gap, English King, Turn It Up Tommy, then Regina, and last was Sound of Cannons.
Camelot Stallion, we were talking about one a few minutes ago with Russian Camelot, weren't we? Katie, I thought she'd take off at the 800, is what we said pre-race. She had to do that. Now, she squeezed Luncy's up a bit up the straight. The head-on's going to be interesting here, but the margin's too great. Right now, she'd be the tightest woman in Australia. She must be absolutely exhausted, Alana.
Yeah.
What a win.
Yeah, she must be very fit. She just executed what I would imagine Lloyd's instructions were perfectly. She stayed wide at the first time up the straight and just got into that beautiful rhythm. When the pace slackened, she took off. As you said, you read it beautifully, Bruce. And he's just too strong. He actually never impeded Luncy's run whatsoever. To me, he looked like he had a good look around Richo when he got to the front. So, gee, he's a really, really exciting horse.
He certainly is. So, I mean, Lloyd Williams, Lloyd and Nick and their group of mates, I mean, Lloyd's absolutely obsessed by the Melbourne Cup. He's the most successful owner in the Melbourne Cup history. There's a lot of discussion going on at the moment, Bruce, of other races like the Roy Higgins Ballot Free into a Melbourne Cup. There's another race also on Mackay Bediva Stakes Day, a listed race over 2,500 metres. I'd like to add that and call it the Lloyd Williams. I think the most successful owner deserves a race named after him. And if Bart's race gets into the Cup and Roy's race gets into the Cup, Lloyd's would make sense, wouldn't it?
Hard to argue, Richo. I think you've made a very, very good point. Absolutely hard to argue. He'll be delighted right now, so will Nick. Katie, you have been in this position. I'm not putting it back to you, but you have been in this position. We've talked a lot about this
Wrong for Alana. It could have gone wrong, and the run for Alana went wrong. But the great thing about her, and this is why she will be such a great jockey, she didn't panic. Just kept it. She was stuck wide. Just kept the horse in a rhythm, and you know, once the pace came out of the race before they turned for home, she got herself into a position to win, and the horse did the rest for her. But you know, it's a great credit to her, because a lot of times in these races, when things don't go to plan, they really don't go to plan. But she had the patience to sit there and pull a miracle off.
Bit to happen between now and November. Does that mean you can lock your rider in for Point Nepean in the Cup?
Oh, well, we'll wait and see, but she's certainly heading the right way. I'll put it this way, I don't think she'll be claiming by then.
Got a lot of comparisons, obviously, with the stayers you've brought through your team in years gone by. Where does this horse sit? Is there a comparison with what he's done at this stage of his career to something you've seen develop and turn into a Group 1 staying performer?
Oh, no, he's got all the right traits. A horse that this sounds strange, I'm going to say this, but a horse that he reminds me of a little bit is actually here today, Ramsden. When we got Ramsden, he'd won a Group 2, but he was a very raw and the unfinished article. And this horse is a bit the same, albeit younger and at a lower grade. But where he's come from, this preparation, you know, the world's his oyster. He's a genuine 2-miler. He was strong again on the line today. He was strong on the line at Caulfield. I think if he keeps going forward, he could certainly make himself known.